When people leaves this world, normally we all say, such a nice guy. Diogo was really a nice guy. He had my agent, he had my structure.
The world of football was silenced by a tragedy too heavy for words. Amid the heartbreak, José Mourinho stood not as a legendary manager, but as a man deeply shaken by loss. Though he had never coached Jota directly, his voice trembled with sorrow as he spoke of a player whose humility and humanity left a lasting mark on everyone who knew him. There was no need for grand speeches. What Mourinho offered was honest and unfiltered, a reflection from someone who understood that football, despite its trophies and glories, is still deeply human. He described waking to the unbearable weight of knowing that someone so full of life was now gone. The pain wasn't his alone. It belonged to a nation, a sport, and a family torn apart in ways words could never fully express. Mourinho talked of a young man who never sought fame but earned it through hard work and quiet dignity. In an era where so many chase attention, Jota stood out by doing the opposite, letting his passion, not his voice, speak. His journey was not built on noise but on substance. That was what made him different. That was what made him unforgettable. The emotion in Mourinho's eyes revealed a man who saw more than just the headlines. He saw the family left behind, the children who would grow without their father, the heartbreak of a young wife, the parents who now had to carry the unbearable burden of losing two sons. His words were laced with the kind of sadness that comes only when something truly good is lost forever. He spoke not only to honor a player but to mourn with those left behind. To remind them, and all of us, that life can be cruel and unpredictable, and that sometimes, all we have left is the strength we find in one another. He called on the football world not to let the silence linger alone, but to fill it with unity, memory, and love. Because in suffering together, we find a different kind of power, a reason to keep going, even when the game feels unfair. Mourinho's message was deeply personal, not just because of who Jota was, but because of what he represented: hope, integrity, humility. He was a man who lived without needing to be loud. A man who made his mark with grace. And in the cruel twist of fate that took him away, that quiet grace became his echo, one that will never truly fade. There will be matches, goals, and seasons ahead. But something will always feel missing. And that's okay. Because mourning is the price of love, and remembering is the way we keep that love alive. In honoring Jota, Mourinho reminded us that behind every jersey is a life. And sometimes, that life is the most beautiful thing we lose too soon.